Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update for commodities. Like we normally do, walk through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of this stuff to pick individual companies on how to play this commodity bull market that we have started. We still have the discount coupon code, 50% off the first month, LEAP, LEAP, or you get a bigger discount on the yearly membership. So let's dive in. Let's take a look and see what today has in store for us. We've got the dollar, and the dollar is holding on steady. It does look like we could potentially still go up. We've got the big bullish engulfing here, the move up, and then the bull flag pennant formation type formation, and we've broken the downtrend line. So that still looks good, and for a positive move or an upward move in the DXY. Looking at yields, we were down today. We've been fighting back and forth with yields. Yields have basically been going sideways in this chopping pattern here. We've come on back. We do have support. We did have a down day today, down 0.84%, and it just looks like it's going sideways here. No clear direction or path yet, and we'll see what occurs over the next few trading days. The 10-year doing the same thing. It's just trading sideways in kind of a tighter range. We are underneath resistance, and we're just been moving sideways with the 10-year. And then the 30-year is also moving sideways, and we're basically on top of support with the 30-year. A lot of sideways action in the dollar and yields. The TYX-TNX ratio did decline a little bit with momentum coming back up throughout the day, but we are still inverted and nothing has changed in that sense, and we just continue to move sideways at the inverted level. Bond prices up slightly right on support, and we are sitting on top of support, and this very well could go up. And what does that mean? It means lower yields if that does go up. And right now, we've just been trading sideways. Again, trading sideways in this box, not a big move in either direction. Gold also trading sideways in the short term. And we do have these wicks at the top, and people are selling with these wicks at the top, or someone is holding this thing down, and we have not been able to advance to the upside yet. I do find this a little bit weird, guys. This is what I find weird. Generally, when you break these levels here like this, you get these wicks at like resistance levels usually. So resistance level, you get these wicks. Then when you break out of it, you get a little bit of a run. And here we are, we broke out and we're getting wicks like immediately. It seems kind of weird. That's all I'm going to say. Silver, we've pulled on back from this breakout. I am surprised that gold is at all-time highs, basically, and that silver hasn't broken out yet. We haven't broken through that trend line. We've got some selling pressure coming today and the big bearish engulfing that we had 4 trading sessions ago. And I do think we will eventually break, but maybe we loop back around before we get moving. Platinum up a little bit today. Not a real strong candlestick, not confidence inspiring, but it is up today, 0.9%, and we've been tracking sideways for a pretty long time here. Palladium is down a little bit, down about 1.3%. Still looks good, still above support for a longer term potential move to the upside is my guess. XAU to gold ratio looks like we're getting a little bit of selling pressure in the gold and silver mining companies. We could head lower in the short term with a little bit of relief to the downside. And we still haven't broken all of the key big long-term downtrend lines yet. I say yet. CRB index down a little bit. Looks like crude oil was down a little bit too. Still looks good to go higher. It's just a little bloody nose, at least from the CRB index standpoint. CRB versus S&P 500, still a small down day. Bloody nose, continuation pattern to the upside. Still looks good for this ratio to continue higher in the short term. We've got GDX moving sideways, a little bit of selling pressure there, still above support. GDXJ also experiencing some selling pressure, still above support, barely, and we're right on that trend line. And then SILJ also a little bit of selling pressure today, still above support, and that still looks good. It's a bearish engulfing here, and a little bit of a bloody nose slash could be dark cloud cover. It's tough. We'll see where we go. We need a couple more trading sessions. The buyers and sellers are duking it out right here. My with where we're at in the yield curve and all that stuff, I am inclined to think that this is going this way in a big way. But in the short term, we are getting a little bit of selling pressure. Crude oil down a little bit today, about 0.57%. Still looks good to go higher. Little bloody nose is what I call this. Little profit taking day. We do have some resistance where we're at. We are getting a little bit of wicks at the top. We're up towards the top of this channel too, which is going to be a little bit of resistance there. So we haven't broken out yet. TTF down a little bit, right on support, still looks okay. Natural gas in America, I think this is from rolling over of contracts. So I don't know if this is an actual 10%, 11% gain. But we're going to stay down here for a little while. We got to work through our inventory. Once we work through inventory, we'll start working our way back up. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, bearish engulfing today. Looks like we are probably going to do a retest in the short term, coming back to this level down here. Probably better buying opportunities here in the short term, fingers crossed. And longer term, we have broken through this neckline, but we need to stay above it and stay above here, and maybe we get a retest out of this thing. OIH also getting a bearish engulfing, which looks like we could see sideways to slightly lower action in the short term. A little bit of a maybe a consolidation period or something like that. We have had a pretty big move, and maybe we'll get a small consolidation before working our way on up. Raw Physical Uranium Trust, we are up today, right up against that resistance line that we are getting well acquainted with. We've got URA, a little bit of selling pressure today, basically sideways. It's not a huge selling pressure day. It doesn't make me think that we're just going to dive bomb lower, but it's not confidence inspiring either, thinking that I'm just going to rip to the upside. So to me, it looks like we've got some sort of deal going on here, and we're underneath resistance, and that the pressure could be applied to the downside. That until I see a different candlestick, that's kind of what my mind is. URNM also not a real confidence-inspiring candlestick here, and the downside is still in play if the sellers want to push it. And same with URNJ. It doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look. I mean, there's a lot of support under this, guys, and we've got lots of buyers and sellers through here. So there's a ton of support underneath us. I don't think it's going to be like a huge selling pressure free fall, but we could see this drift like that on top of that support. TAN, a little bit of selling pressure today, and this has just been trading sideways. I don't think these companies make much money, so I don't have a ton of confidence in it. Copper, this looks like a retest eventually, and we'll probably retest before breaking higher. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully this isn't something that we did a false breakout and roll lower. If we roll lower, that's probably the whole market selling off if we do that. And I'm not expecting to do that necessarily. COPX, a little bit of selling pressure, still looks well poised for a big move to the upside. We get these small little red candlesticks. That's what we're getting right now. Lithium, slightly lower. It is trending below support, so this could get a little ugly if the sellers want to whip it out and start selling. REMX also, like I said, it could get a little ugly and we could start selling off again. Lithium and rare earths are just not in favor at this time, and that is where the problem lies. The sentiment is just not there yet. And I know renewables have been struggling lately. and we could see further downside in REMX. S&P 500, somehow this thing is pulling this out of its butt and it just keeps going up. Whenever you get moves this is what this looks like, guys. This looks like a topping pattern. This looks like a pattern that was ready to go down at some point, and an outside factor is pushing this and just juicing the market to the upside is what it looks like. This to me looked like it was ready to roll over at some point, and they just keep juicing it up and up and up and up. NASDAQ also juicing on up. We're getting these bearish engulfings occurring. We got one today, which makes me think we want to go lower. But are they going to continue to juice it? Are they going to lower rates or try to push this thing on up for a presidential election? I don't know, but we'll see. KRE down a little bit today. It's a battle here. We've been just chopping sideways between buyers and sellers. We got resistance right above us. Emerging markets, a little bit of selling pressure, but it's basically sideways, and we've just been tracking sideways with yields and dollar moving sideways. We want a weaker dollar and weaker yields for this to engage to the upside. XHB, this thing has been smooth sailing to the upside. Still looks good. Small candlesticks on the pullback here still look good to go higher. We've got MOO, a little bit of selling pressure today. Bearish engulfing, but remember, if we broke out, it's not a huge bearish engulfing. I think we're just going to back test and touch it again, maybe, or go sideways for a little bit. Iron ore up a teeny bit today, but momentum was kind of lost throughout the day. Momentum is definitely to the downside still. And this very well could be another re-engaging move to the downside. Nickel just moving sideways. Still looks all right. It's trying to base out here and put in a bottom. Aluminum getting a little bit of stronger selling pressure. It is a little bit of a bearish engulfing. We could see a little bit of downward momentum, and we've been chopping sideways for what seems to be a long time. Baltic Dry Index down. We had, looks like we could sell off a little bit further to the downside. That is a bearish engulfing. We've got Newcastle Coal up a little bit, and this is, to me, looks like it's trying to bottom with natural gas. Same thing, just moving sideways. Bitcoin getting some selling pressure today. It still looks good to go higher, though. It's just a bloody nose. Ethereum down a little bit, still looks good. We've got a broken down trend line. Still looks good to go higher. And then SMCI, I put this in yesterday. Is this something like a head and shoulders pattern? We do have a bearish cloud cover potential pattern in the candlestick today. We'll see if that plays out. And NVIDIA also getting a bearish engulfing, which generally indicates a lower move. With this bearish engulfing, they're starting to stack up, and we are starting to see reversal candlesticks where I tend to exit if I had this type of valuation on a stock, and I would pat myself on the back if I did sell at one of these locations. But that's all I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you please or if you wish. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.